What's up guys, it's Solid007 and today I'm gonna react to this very interesting and important video of the Metal Gear Online 2. It's called The Best Multiplayer Game You've Never Played. It's made by SGL-san and it's very good, and I wanted to show it to you guys and talk about a little bit of reactions by me, so let's see.
Metal Gear is a series that is well
Yeah,
known
I
for its
agree.
story.
Metal Gear Solid is a series known mostly by its story mode. It's one of the best and famous story mode game series there is. And I think MGS1 is revived and voted as the best PlayStation 1 game by Metascore and Metacritic and user score as well. It's very good, and MGS1 is my favorite single player game of all time.
It goes without
yeah,
saying,
multiplayer isn't
not
the first thing that comes to mind when you hear Metal Gear Solid, even though MGOs are very good games, apart from the free mode. And in my opinion, Metal Gear Online 2 from 2008 is the best multiplayer game. So therefore, Metal Gear Solid rules with single player and with the multiplayer. Best games.
That made it very hard for it ever being successful.
This trailer is very cool. Drum can and voila. So let's see.
Of course, these are
I've
all
watched
going
this
to be
video
my
once before
opinions,
today.
so sit back and enjoy the reasons
Good
why
opinions.
I love Metal Gear Online. Something I rarely acknowledge is that the MGS series has actually done multiplayer quite a few times, excluding co-op.
Yeah, PvP is what I like in the multiplayer games. Competitive. Playing versus real people and not bots.
Conceptualized MGO as far back as MGS3.
Because I played MGO1, I never played it before.
Time to try it out.
I could maybe might try it someday.
You would have MGS3 Subsistence with
But MGO3 was just so
portable
bad.
ops with MPO and MPO Plus.
I also made a poll about what's the best MGO.
MGS4 with
They all
MGO2,
voted
and then
mostly
finally
like
MGS5
90%
with
MGO2 is the best of them all.
Kinda weird, 'cause it's the
MGO.
only series I've ever known where the multiplayer has its own title separate to the main game. It's as if they want to make it absolutely clear that these modes have nothing to do with the main series story. This isn't like Rainbow Six, for example, where the idea is all the characters are doing.
Yeah, you have a good point. Rainbow Six,
Metal Gear VR,
but
when you think about it. But
like other multiplayer games today that are famous, made by AA companies,
will make sense canonically. So why not?
I don't think they are nowhere near as good, even with their competitive ranked modes, like
But I tend to enjoy
what
the fact
we
that
had
this game
with
can
MGO2
embrace its
Survival.
goofy side and just
It was
focus on
just
making a good
too
experience.
good ranked mode
And ever since its
for
first
today's
iteration,
standards.
a lot of the core ideas were maintained throughout most of its sequels. Now, to keep things simple, I wanted to mainly focus on the game I enjoyed the most.
So
The
this
other versions
Sun
of
guy is
MGO all
focusing
have their
mostly on
quirks,
this
but they
video
all
for the
mostly follow the
multiplayer
same formula.
modes, team sneaking and
MGO2 showed the
sneaking.
most improvement out of
To
all
be
of them.
honest, I
Even
think
more so
team
than
sneaking
MGS5
is
with
the
MGO3
most
due to being
unique
supported far
mode
longer.
and
It also managed to
best
keep the
I've
player
ever
base
seen
for
on
far
any
longer
game,
too, and that's saying a lot
even
for
though
a
it's not my
PS3
favorite
exclusive
in this
that had
game, but
plenty of issues when it came
I
to
do
getting
agree it's the
access,
most
but we
unique
will
good
get to
mode,
that, don't worry.
team sneaking.
MGO2 was released with Metal Gear Solid 4 and went online
June
after its
12th,
release.
2008
utilized
it was
MGS4's
released.
shooting mechanics and setting to create a shooter that had with it an incredible level of depth while also having a distinct Metal Gear style to it. At its core, MGO is a tactical shooter that uses Metal Gear's world and characters as an excuse to mix up the standard set of game modes you would expect, while also throwing in typical quirks of the series like cardboard boxes, codec communication, the alert and question mark symbols, hell, even the characters themselves are playable. You can tell that the multiplayer is an excuse to just have fun with everything the core game has to offer, and not meant to be super serious. They didn't have to include any of these things, but the fact that they do in pretty much every iteration gives it a sort of charm. I think Kojima said it best. Even though it's an online game, it still has
Metal Gear Solid is a stealth game with its story modes, but I think Metal Gear Online 2 is more of a run and gun game. Fast run and gun game with the fast pace. I like it. One reason I liked it that is
It's
because
designed in
it's
such a
run and
way to
gun,
allow
because
for a
it's not
variety of playstyles,
like
even
just
though
team
some are
sneaking or
way
sneaking
stronger
or
than
rescue,
others.
because
Now, while Kojima emphasized that MGO
stealth
is a stealth
aspects
game,
within
I feel
online
like the stealth
multiplayer
aspects
with
get
MGO2
underutilized
is
outside of key modes.
not like single
Specifically.
player stealth
Sure, there are a
mode
lot of people like
kinda
me that
gameplay.
enjoyed getting the best camo
Metal Gear Online 2
possible
is
to try and
different.
avoid being
It's
seen.
not just stealth,
They were far and few
not
in between
including
in
the
comparison to
team
the
sneaking
people
or
that would just
sneaking,
go more
which
gung
are
ho.
like stealth modes.
If you're wondering why all these characters look so different, that's because MGO2 had
Yeah,
a
I agree.
massive
One
character
thing, one
customization
and
system for its time.
biggest things
It might not
with
have a lot
this
of
game
options when it
was
comes to
that
choosing the face,
the
but it had a
character
lot of depth in
customization
voice
was
options.
just way too
There were
ahead
8
of its
voice types
time.
per gender to choose from,
You could
and
choose
can
with
alter
face,
the pitch of them.
voice
Sure, it might
tube,
not sound like a lot
your
compared to
own-
now, but I feel like
your
it's
own
important to
clothes,
give each person's
outfit
character
and gear.
a distinct
You
voice,
could earn them
a sort of personality, if
by
you will.
playing survival and
And
tournament,
the game lets
even
you do
to
just
your
that by
own
letting you change
codec
your
voices,
preset voice messages.
which
They
these
even added
days
more lines with
standards you
DLC
can't
after a
really
time. It meant each voice
choose
type had
your
its own way of
exact
saying
own
each
gear
type of line that you
one
would
by
use to
one
communicate in
by the
game,
items like
and it gave off a different vibe. That was
tactical
just the
needs
beginning.
or chest
After
or
creating a
vest
character
or
and choosing their
tactical
name,
jacket.
you
It's
just
just
had
full
all
gear
these
if you
options to
watch
customize
today's
it even
games.
further.
Character
Need I remind you,
customization.
this was in
That's not
2008
good,
when this came
but
out.
this is good.
My mind was blown at the time, and it still kinda is. Because it took several years after this game shut down to
Yeah,
even
agree.
get games close to the amount of customization that this had. And that's besides all the options that were available and then expanded on with
14
DLC
years.
buying
Ah,
the
I
reward
missed
shop.
that reward shop.
Oh yeah,
So
I
unique.
forgot to mention, this game had a website.
I remember I
where you
would
could buy
wake
gear
up
as if
before
shopping
going
for
to school
clothes
in the
online.
morning and
That's how you would
check
spend
what's
most of your
new in
currency
the
that you
store
earned
in the
to
reward
buy
shop
extra
and buy
gear.
the
So
stuff.
keep it simple. MGO made me feel like my
Was
character
so
was
epic.
truly my own. Hell, look at what my avatar even is in this channel.
Yeah,
And you
it
can tell
has
that this game
left
left
impact
an
on me
impact
as
on
well
me to some
to
degree.
this day. Sneaking mission was not in the survival or tournament mode. I think mostly that's because there was the solid snake you were playing with and the robot, that one. So it couldn't be in the survival because it was team blue versus team red, 6 versus 6, so that's why sneaking wasn't on it. I guess that explains it. But yeah, it's one of the better modes. If you check out these games today, like Domination or some shit like
The game
Capture
modes
the
is where
Flag
a lot of Metal
in
Gear
Call of
games
Duty,
tend to be the most
it's
pronounced.
nothing
There's a lot
like
of standard modes here. Hell, there's
Deep
even a way more
Sneaking
variety
Mission
here
or
than you
Deep
would think
Sneaking,
this game should
or
have.
like Race
But in
Mission or Capture
particular, I'd like to
Mission
focus
or
on the
Base
two
Mission
main
or
modes that I'd
Race.
say are pretty much
They are
iconic to
so
this
much
game.
better than today's
And that
Call
would
of
be
Duty games
Sneaking
or
Mission
Battlefield
and Team
Domination
Sneaking
and so on.
These two modes exemplify not only what a stealth action game like Metal Gear should be online, but also exemplify MGS4's own type of infiltration that they made a focus of in the main game,
Also.
sneaking around in an active war zone.
Yeah,
Sneaking
also
mission involves
Stealth
one player playing
Deathmatch
a snake
mode, this
and a
game
second
which
helping
has
as Otacon if there's
is
enough
like the
players in the
first
lobby.
ever battle royale
The
that's
objective
I've been
for Snake
playing.
is to try and get 3 dog
Kind of
tags
like
off
invented
of players
the
without
mode.
dying. The thing is that there's 2 other teams trying to find you first, and it's so good whether you're hiding or trying to find Snake. Both sides get to have a lot of fun here. Since people are going to be
Yes,
looking for
this
Snake,
is very good
the
and
fights are
important video, very
dynamically
good
happening all
execute
around the
and
map, or it
told.
can force Snake to try and get into engagements that are much
big
more
respect.
tough for him to work around. Snake gets all the tools he could ask for to win. He already has Octo Camo, which lets him be blending into his environment by just sitting still for a few seconds, and the Solid Eye lets him see everyone that's around him. But also, since there's a war going on all around
In
you,
my
with people
opinion,
killing each other
the
left
best
and right, trying
mode
to
on the
find you,
game is Race
it boosts your
or
camo
Capture,
meter even
because
more and makes you harder
I
to
know
see.
race mission
Now, I
can
should
be
mention
ruined by
MGO1
the
had a
random
similar mode as
goals
well,
if you
with
get
the
them
main
underground
difference
or
being
edges of the map.
Snake might have a
But
lot
if
going
they
for him
are
in this mode, but he's
fair
still as durable
goals
as everyone
and
else is
work
in the game,
in the
meaning
match, it's very good to
explosives,
spawn
headshots,
changes
you
and
name
you
it,
can
will
run the
kill him
goal
pretty
Just
fast.
capture and goal,
It
different
makes
goals and
winning a
spawns.
snake all the more
Very
satisfying
fast-paced.
because you managed to
That's what I
avoid
like
two
race the
teams
most, I
all while
think.
having the same health pool
And capture is
vulnerability as them.
very fun as well.
There's
Like
just nothing like taking
2
people
versus
by
2
surprise when
capture
they're
at
caught
BB
up
I
in the
would
middle of a
play every
firefight
time
and
on
slipping away
Origin
while
until
watching your
when
team
the
trying to find you and barely
survival
missing
was
you.
over or before
Knowing that
survival
a
or
stray
tournament.
grenade at any moment could just kill you.
In OG I
It
never
makes the game
played
mode
previously
more tense and
before.
rewarding if you
When I
manage to
started
win
this
without
game
dying
in
a single time.
2008,
It also
I
means that it's
played
just as rewarding
a
as
lot
a
of
person on the other
TDM's
team trying to
99
find Snake,
tickets
because
with
not only do you
16
have to deal
players.
with an entire other
Oh
team
god, those
trying to
frame
kill you,
rates.
but you also
But
might
yeah.
have to fight Snake as well,
Then when
because he
I
gets to have a
played
gun
survival
too,
for the
so he
first
can
time
make
with
your life just as
Doomsday
difficult.
Legion, I like
And he
it
can
with
come out
so
of
much. I
nowhere, so
start to
you
play it
just have to
every
be on your
week,
toes the entire
the
time.
weekend, and
Overall, Sneaky Mission is one of my favorite
not
modes.
play
I
anymore
love playing
free
it.
battle unless I played 2 versus 2 or 1 versus 1. I think most of people when survival started in the day, on that day they went on and played the survival, because nobody really played free battle when survival was up. That's what I remember. I swear I remember it was like that. I think I have like way too many hours on this game after all these years. I think I maybe have the most hours
Team sneaking is
in the
just as
game,
interesting
because
because
I
one
played
team
6
has
years of
lethal weapons
Revival.
and is visible, protecting
I started
objectives,
Revival
while the other team has the
2016
non-lethal weapons and
February,
is invisible, trying to take those
and
objectives
have
or
played it to
eliminate
this
the team.
day.
Just like regular sneaking mission, the pressure is on when
But
you're on
yeah,
the sneaking
now we
team
are on
as
the
you
team
really
sneaking
have
mode.
nothing to
It is
rely
very
on
unique,
besides your
like
own
the best
magic
mode I
knowledge
know, even though
or
I'm not really a
your
fan
aim.
of it on the
Sure,
game,
you
even
may be
though
invisible,
kinda
but your
agree
equipment is
many
not,
of you
and
like
that
and love
includes
it
your knife
as
too,
the
by
best
the way,
mode.
because that's always
Even
out.
though for me it's
You
a
also cast
level
a
eater
shadow if
mode,
you're out in
but
broad
it is
daylight,
very
so you
good.
have to come up with creative solutions to make it harder for you to be spotted. The amount of strategies that you can form due to the versatility of how you can interact and position your character in the map
Yep,
makes it
it's very
one of the
interesting
most
mode.
interesting modes the game can offer. For example, the basics of hiding usually involve playing dead on the floor or saluting in place because it hides everything you have on you. Also, dangling off a ledge works as well,
We're
as it
halfway
makes you
through.
completely invisible
I try
unless you
to
happen to be in the sun.
keep you entertained and
More
talk something.
interestingly, knowing how to press yourself up against a wall on certain maps can make it harder
20 minutes
for your
long
knife
video.
to be noticed.
Let's go.
Stun grenades can also be a good way to blind the enemy in order to make an advance, but if people are aware
Stun
of this
nades
being done,
are
they can
annoying,
actually
but
use
they
the
are
cardboard box to
they
avoid
belong
it.
to the game. But yeah,
That's
I do
just the
agree
tip
they
of
are
the
annoying
iceberg,
and can
because there's plenty of skills in this game that can make
ruin the match,
hiding or
even on the
finding
BB
people
map.
way easier.
Sometimes people disable
The
stun
only way to
nades
share that
and
information or
you
even
can
see it
see
is to
you're
be
blinded all the
connected.
time. I'm fine, even though
There's
they
skills
are
that let you
annoying
outright
sometimes.
kill people if you grab them too, so you can essentially guarantee an elimination even if it means you die.
SOP, Sons of the Patriots.
MGO utilizes
One of the
SOP
good
system,
assets of the
which,
game
keep
is
it simple,
SOP.
lets you see your allies through
Very
walls and
important
share information.
stuff
So
for
if you
the
have a skill that
multiplayer.
highlights an enemy when you shoot them, the entire team gets to see it too. There's a lot that goes on here, and trying to cover all of it would make this video hours long. It's things like this that add depth to the game, but honestly the best part about these game modes is the fact
Yeah,
that you
unique
can have
characters.
as well.
In my honest opinion, I never really liked those. I mean, it's good. There's a lot of customization and
Uniques are the
different
hero characters of the game.
aspects for the game to
They
play,
have unique
but
weapons and unique abilities.
unique
and
characters
interactions that
kinda,
only they
I
can
don't know
do.
if they're
There
OP,
are 8
but
unique
yeah, not
characters,
very
with one of them being exclusive
fun for
to a
me.
specific
But I know
mode,
some,
but the
many
same
people
rules
love
apply
the unique
They change
characters,
up the
but
dynamic of the game due to them
there's a
having
reason they
particular
they weren't
whether
in
it be
survival and
disabling
tournament
traps
modes.
nearby, being
And
the
I'm
best
glad they
teammate for
wasn't in the
information and
survival.
ally support, being the best at every gun skill in the game, as well as having camo to hide
They would
better,
have ruined the
to
survival and
bombarding
tournament
people with
modes.
cannon fire, to preventing people
There's a
from
reason
using
they
their
weren't in.
guns, or rage restoring at the end of the round.
I'm really lucky to have this game and playing it still to this day after all these years, because
Or you can have two of
my
the
dad
fastest people
bought
in the
me
game, with one of them
PlayStation
having a sword
3,
that blocks all bullets, while
and
the other can
within
just
the
respawn
console
right where he died.
there was Metal Gear Solid
There's a lot
4
more
disc.
intricate things that these
It came with the
characters can do, but
PS3,
that's the
my dad
gist of
bought
it.
me.
The fact that you can use
That
these characters
day,
at any
in the
given
evening,
time,
I
any
played,
team-based mode,
started
and
playing
have them be
single player,
randomly distributed
and I
each
passed
round makes
the
each
single
round
player in
more
like 5
different than the
days,
last one.
playing
It's a
it
good way to
daily,
keep
many
things
hours,
fresh, in my
by
opinion.
day.
All the options you had available
Then
to
I
you
wanted
made
to see
MGO
Metal Gear
have a lot
Online,
of
which I saw
mechanical depth,
on the
which
lobby
is
main
no
menu.
wonder why the game had such an
It was
intense
pretty hard
competitive
to
scene.
get on with the Konami ID and game ID stuff, but once I remember my first match.
But in the long game, headshots are always going
Ooh,
to be
DDM, free battler.
you see
Playing
an
it like
MGO body
strafing
shots
like
do
a
a
slot
negligible
and
amount of
spraying.
damage, but a headshot,
I still remember that very well. My little brothers were watching me. I immediately fell in love with the game when I started it. Within the first how I played.
It definitely came with its downsides.
And yeah, just like this Shanghai said, headshotting is a very important aspect of the game. Take some skill.
It also gave birth to one of the most toxic.
Yeah, skill requirement being so high. It's hard to get more players for the PC server, since it's not an easy game and new people get kicked or quit because there's people with like me with thousands of hours playtime. I understand very well.
Don't get me wrong.
I also love this game very much, but this game has like there's many flaws. But like lag or bugs or
but a big issue
bullet
that the game
registration
suffered that made it not get that many players was the Konami ID and game ID requirements. Kojima even considered it a bad idea when it came to accessibility of the game at the time. This can be found in a game.
Some days I'm glad that we had Konami ID, because one thing that's good about the small community of the game is there's not too many players and we get friends through with the game. We get to know people because there's not too many people. That's one good thing, positive thing in my opinion, that the community is small.
It's so unapologetically Metal Gear in such a goofy and fun way.
But yeah, if we had the PSN system, we would probably have like tens or 100 times more players. I know what would have happened if we had the PSN system and not Konami ID.
He's gonna see the rest of us. Yeah, it's over, boys. Get him, boys.
I got him.
Yeah. I'm alive.
Oh,
we got help.
It's the fact that you get to customize your character, use a cardboard box, and have it actually work sometimes.
I'd like to thank the Solid007 staff for bringing back this game, especially GHG Gangster and the PC server we have now. I'd like to thank Trigger Happy and other developers a lot. I respect you so much for being here and being able to play this awesome game to this day. It's amazing how far you have, or we have, got through within more than 1 year of PC server. Already some big updates and improvements on the emulator and server. More to come, you will see.
Unique characters having their own commands to get specific lines.
We just hit more than 120 players total online at the same time. That's nice. Imagine if we get more people and stuff like survival, we could easily maybe hit even 200 at online time, same time.
Ceremony where your character has a fully voiced speech at the end.
Damn, I missed that instructor training. So many unique stuff in this game. I don't remember what was my instructor
if your team
from the training.
You can do the most unnecessary but enjoyable thing in the entire game.
Yeah, some funny aspects you can sing at the end of the match.
And your entire team can join in.
Hide and seek.
Even the unique characters.
I think I will be playing this game still as a grandpa, maybe not,
Now I
but
know.
still many
None of this
years
has
to
anything
come
to
I
do
will
with
be
how the
playing
game
this game,
plays or
and
even
I
how good
enjoy
it was to play.
making
It's
content
all about how
and
these
love to
little
stream
things
to
that
you
the game
guys.
had enhance what would technically be
My
an
subscribers
okay shooter
keep me
at the
motivated
end
to
of the
play
day
and make
if
videos
it
for
didn't
this
have
game,
any
so
of
I
this.
always respect and
It made it seem like a
appreciate if you
grander
join my
game than the sum
stream
of
and
its parts,
push the
and
like
it just
button
made
and
everything about
commentate
it leave
the
a more
video.
positive impression. At least it did on me, which is why I'm glad that there's
Yes.
people still trying to keep this game alive.
Konami made a
The game
huge
did
mistake
unfortunately shut down in
by
2012,
shutting this game
but has
down
since
in
been revived. It took a long
2012
time, but you can arguably get
after
access
only
to this
4
game
years
much more
of
easily
being
than
online.
you could during its actual launch. No game
So
ID
sad
or
they did
Konami
that.
ID needed here. You can even play it on PC via an emulator, and the community seems to be getting more and more active as time goes on. The websites where you can find all of the information for this will be in the description. If any of this interests you and you feel like trying the game
But yeah, I
out,
hope
feel free to go to the Discord
PC
and
server
ask
does
around.
good in the future
There's
and we
always
get
people
more
willing to
people
help.
and we
The most you will
succeed.
need is a decent processor for the PC
Because
version,
I really love
so
this
try to
game
keep that
and the
in mind.
community can be pretty toxic
And if
often,
you
but I
decide to
think
get
many
on, you'll
games are
find
very
me
toxic.
hosting casual games
If you play
on
like
Saturdays
games
at 7
like
PM
Call of
EST,
Duty or
so new
Valorant, you
players
can
play
hear
the game with other new players.
kids
And that's pretty much
insulting
it.
you on
Hope you
microphones.
enjoyed what I
Yeah.
had to say about a game I love. Maybe give it a like if you can. Other than that, I will see you all on the battlefield.
Good job. Very well made. Hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the battlefield. Press the like button. Yeah, see you in the battlefield. See you around sometime.